Normally, martial arts takes 10 years to learn before they become any good at it. It's exactly what happens at Raves, which is to vibrate to sound, which then allows the person to move energy, conduct it, harness it, expel it, and manipulate it, which is what martial arts is. Martial arts is the physical teaching of what happens towards the mastery of the physical body, the mental realms, and the spiritual enlightenment, which is the synergy of the three, mind, body, and soul. But the main difference is that in martial arts, they teach you have energy. And that it can be manipulated and controlled with the mind. But at Raves, by taking ecstasy, you are given pharmaceutical enhancements that allow you to manipulate and control energy. Because the drug overloads your brain and your body with positive feelings that are enhanced by the music. This permits the dormant energy levels in the club to be greatly amplified as you dance and are feeling happy. Your vibration energizes you and everyone around you, which altogether increases the overall frequency of the nightclub to higher levels. The music helps greatly in the application of sound, as a typical song contains triple the amount of information, incorporating the full spectrum of sound. This is very stimulating, and what it does is more amazing. Everyone dances differently to the song, and they still look good. This is because there are different individual personalities that inject different pitches into the nightclub, and therefore the different beats in the song and in the energy creates an intention of synergy, and heaven comes down to earth. This is why everyone, and I mean everyone, that can dance and that can't dance normally look fantastic. And as you look between the individual people, you will realize, what the hell, man? If you were to play that song, some people, they just dance weird and not in sync. But, I mean, if you look overhead, and then you look at the region of that dancing, you will come to realize that everyone's dancing their own way. And this is not a mystery, it's just frequency. Some people dance this way, some people dance that way. And in between is the music, which merges everything. It goes like a flowing energy thing. And what actually happens is that it embeds into one frequency, a unified frequency of convergence in sound, of synergy. And it just being level of energy in a nightclub. And if anyone had the right instruments to measure it at a frequency level, at an energetic level, would see, in fact, that the energy harnessed there would equal and perhaps even rival a Kali Chakra. Only because there's 1,000 people at a rave. I mean, you go to Europe and there's 40,000 people. It's just awesome. At a purely scientific level, what we don't see. This is why everyone that needs to know this phenomenon that is different and very difficult to explain. But by using drugs, it allows you to focus much more adeptly to the specific beat in a song, and since there are 15,000 bits of information in that typical 8-minute trance song, there's plenty of room within a song to dance, to create an energy source so dynamic that everyone now becomes the sound that is music. As music now becomes a vehicle that transcends time. Imagine this. Think of the song that you always dance best to. Why is that? And what allows you to dance to it so well? Is it the beat? Or is it you're singing to it in your heart? And because the song is so happy that your soul now begins to dance, and therefore you are now feeling the song as it now becomes your vehicle of happiness. Is it the beat that really is catering? It is the beat that is really catering to your dancing and rhythm. But in a trance song, because it contains triple the amount of information in a song, it also uses full spectrum of sound, finding your particular rhythm, which is very easy to do, because energy does this. It molds. And you're like a tuner that molds to specific frequencies. And at rave, the sound is compressed and energy is expanded and amplified and variated, and it becomes very easy to mesh into this reality. Furthermore, since the energy level of dance floor is extremely high, dancing becomes effortless as you're moving with the beat or going with the flow. The energy in the dance floor acts like a wave of free energy, allowing you to find rhythm very quickly, because everyone dances so differently. This is also the reason rhythm is easy. As anyone will tell you that some people really need to practice a lot to dance very well. People dance fine at raves. This is why I think it is called trance music. Not because you're comatose, but because like they do when they do those voodoo things. But I mean, yeah, they're not even the same thing. That's black magic. But anyways, it's what it is. It's trance and not voodoo. But because you have interfaced your mind, completely synced your soul and dance within sound. And what they actually says is this professor, I forget, he did this research in Stonehenge, and he found that sound travels differently and is amplified in Stonehenge, stating that it does certain things, has certain elements or properties in its construction to amplify sound. Now, what another discovery of his is that he says that when he has done studies, and this is a professor, that at raves he has found that people's heartbeats are beating at the same rate. That does not make any sense. But that's not the right word to use, as it should state that it defies logic. How can someone that is doing drugs, that is supposed to be going at a very high heart rate, because they're doing drugs, because it's a stimulant, having the same heart rate as the person next to them. And you will find that when you jump from communities of people to communities, the heart rate will vary a little bit. It will be around the same. That's because it's the song. It's the song that keeps everyone's heart rate regulated at the same dormant or resting frequency. And I mean, of course, you're going to have some variant or anomalous people, but I mean, statistics, it's one thing that doesn't lie. This is why I think excuse me. So your being is now ascending. Not I think. Your being is actually ascending, synced with your soul, and dance within sound. As things like hallucinations and the journey starts. I must say that raves are really overwhelming and pleasurable and beyond experimentation. However, recreational escapes are highly addictive and can be beyond experimentation. Because I'm trying to say it's very hard to control. After a certain amount of time, it is very hard to control. Even more so if you're experiencing some sort of mental distress and disorder. It can become highly addictive in that sense, because you just want to escape. And higher frequencies are synonymous or the same as happy feelings. And this is why raves are so very pleasurable and very, very happy. These types of feelings, these types of higher frequencies can be achieved without drugs, as you can teach your brain to release these chemicals, and in doing so, reach ecstasy without doing drugs. Although this is much more difficult to do, as you must be able to focus on higher vibrations by operating at higher levels of consciousness. This can only be achieved by exercising and using all 8 intelligences simultaneously. And this will be covered on the next segment, or the second segment of the interviews. As we have 8 intelligences, and the 8th being the spiritual intelligence. With this, when this happens, the person can achieve this enlightened state of being with just thoughts alone, like monks do. But once, in late 2012, these secrets of how to become enlightened will be common knowledge, as we no longer need to do drugs to experience true ecstasy. A word described and not ascribed, meaning a word that was once a dictionary term and is no longer associated with drugs. Please read Q-12, Memory is the Addiction, and everything to do with topics on drugs, as you all well know that after a while, using drugs to tap into higher dimensions stops after a while, and you no longer are allowed into these dimensions. Therefore, you are fooled into thinking that you're back in these dimensions when it's all an illusion. A very powerful and addictive illusion. The rule of thumb is if you have been raving for more than 6 to 9 months, you have started or ended this journey and are addicted and stuck. This is why you must read all the topics on drugs to know what level you're at and to find peace. Because I know right now in your brain, festering in your mind,